天保佑金山银山前路有，老天教唆别管江湖龙虎斗，老天叮嘱这辈子我散不丢，老天就怕346雷总打球。耶，魑魅魍魉总出现在秋收后，算账。魑魅魍魉总出现在秋收后，消灭。老天让我一棍铲除啮齿类，天数。第二棍附魔我打穿对家楼，因果。因果，老天让放下屠刀，但这是他的因果。因果，该不该放屠刀？如果放，角落潜伏恶鬼分分钟一半。如果提，心中恶念超过3的话没办法停。要还债，兵来将挡，因为我是个耐飞天。手腕上5路财神虚空杖，挡一切。来面刮大浪，要不要求算账？我不是尬，我需要平衡阴阳，看懂这因果业障。世界上条条框框，就好像打白记账，迟早会到你头上。谁不想打翻身仗？总有人在卖着惨，总有人想利用善，殊不知天在看，祸根找上门。你把爱拿来闹着玩，你把爱当作子弹，殊不知天在看，拍拍手，完蛋了。老天保佑金山银山前路有，老天教唆别管江湖龙虎斗，老天叮嘱这辈子我散不丢，老天就怕346雷总打球。耶，魑魅魍魉总出现在秋收后，算账。魑魅魍魉总出现在秋收后，消灭。老天让我一棍铲除啮齿类，天数。第二棍附魔我打穿对家楼，因果。因果，老天让放下屠刀，但这是他的因果。因果，算了，给你个面子。
他想来 Brazilian， 脱衣和累累阿兹里 ，Who you gonna pick baby problem？ 你想什么都 no problem， 把你所有愿望都塞进了 Burberry bag， 我的激情吸引了他们里面，出现太多画面，随便都能要我的命 ，You know what I mean？ 这是闹钟响了又扫我的心 ，baby。我8年没谈过恋爱了，8年没谈过。你说我在骗你，但我连我妈都没骗过。我8年没谈过恋爱了，8年没谈过。你说我在骗你，但我连我妈都没骗过。妈都没骗过，我连我妈都没骗过。Hop up gider man çapanın candalı yürüttün Hoşa demini köpükas man var mini kökasman Boyvattın ben telefonu Otaldıdım Nikoli Icon 是我的小哥如果你想哭我能让你笑起来迫不及待的是让我高快来我走进去他们才能摇起来 Shake shake 把钩子翘起来我们会偷偷从派对逃出来坐在副驾我才能跑起来才能飙起来呢大象来自 Brazil 这一轮接下一轮现在你是我的 Kino Harlem Dinner time 他穿的像瓦楞我们到床边坐下把家能 Brazil 的夏天的没有太阳想带她回去见我妈妈 Take you to my old town home 但偷偷发现习惯是我想象 Brazilian 脱衣和累累阿兹里 Who you gonna pick baby problem 你想什么都 no problem 把你所有愿望都塞进了 Burberry bag 我的激情吸引了他们里面出现太多画面随便都能要我的命 You know what I mean 这是闹钟响了又扫我的心 Brazil 这一轮接下一轮现在你是我的 Kino Harlem Dinner time 他穿的像瓦楞我们到床边坐下把家能 Brazil 的夏天的没有太阳想带她回去见我妈妈 Take you to my old town home 但偷偷发现习惯是我就想走
Okay. Should be working now. Hello. Let's see. if we have enough people to start.
我是个说唱歌手，但具备 R&B vibe。She's my Mariah Carey 是个 R&B 菜，我们把 Rhyme and Blues 拆开来解读。有 DJ 冷不冷不要结束，她是我的 Coco Elvatia， 做我的 Coco
We can wait a little bit.
Coco Elvatia， 做我的 Coco Elvatia。
How is everyone doing?
有代表 you and me， 我会的很多不止给你家里修电器，我们是两张唱片，把它交给 DJ， 让他来 mix it， 变成张 mixtape。放下长征，我打开灵感的阀门。你想去巴黎，我现在开始学法文。怎样的话题才能把印象再加深？要赶在夏季，让浪漫的事快发生。荷尔蒙冲动，伴随点亢奋。毕竟成年人，我也不能太放任。我对着镜子自我介绍，像在演相声。出门前洗个冷水澡，给自己先降温。牛仔裤该穿宽的还是瘦的？新的还是旧的？穿新的显得刻意，旧的又太皱了。想穿皮衣好吗？又觉得太厚了。哦，够了，我什么时候变这么讲究了？就还是白 T 喷点古龙，越普通反而会显得气质越不普通。我到达约定地点，看你第一眼，假装很淡定，心却早就扑通扑通。说唱歌手，
So let's check out first a message that I got. Nothing really important. Okay, so I guess we can start. So, today we have a good one. And I need to make up some space on the table because it's a big one. We finally have Typ K. Crazy, I know. It took like forever, and it's still going out. So if you didn't receive yours yet, fear not, it's happening. So it comes in a carrying case, a relatively small one, I'd say. Normal, like metal build, you know, the usual for this kind of carrying case. The EC stuff are actually in a different box. So inside here we'll find some pieces and bits from the MX build. We have a bunch of rubber feet, MX wires, things for the stabs and all of that. Well, what is this white balance? Okay, way better. Some things for MX. Then we have the rubber pieces used for the plate mounting. For the MX build, there are 3 different versions: red, orange, and gray. The EC ones, the specific ones for the EC build, they are black, and they are gonna be in a different box. Keys for the carrying case, we don't really care about this. And then some foam, not really sure for what they are used. We'll check it out later. Then on top we have the wrist rest. In this case it's the carbon fiber one. It has a glossy finish on top. Very nice. And not that heavy. I was expecting it to be heavier. We can put away all of this stuff. Since it's not used for the EC, we're gonna keep the rubber feet and all of that. Then we take out the top piece, and there's gonna be the board. There we go. And let's take a look at the board itself. So I've got the black version. There's also a silver one. I didn't pick it up simply because black, I thought it was gonna be better suited for my taste. So I decided to go for the black one. And there's the Typ K case. This is the back. Hello Fujifilm, can you like pull focus, please? Okay. And you can see that the bottom piece is PC, while the top case is alu in silver. There's the detail for the indicators. Very nice looking. And there's the Typ K badge. So I'd say first we're gonna take a look at the EC parts, test the PCB, and then take apart the case for the actual build. And we're gonna put on the rubber feet and all of that later. So we have the PCB, Daughterboard, and other parts. We're gonna take a look later. Thank you Extra Chris B for the follow, and welcome. So the Daughterboard for the Typ K is a special one because it's also used not only to power the main PCB, but it's also used to power on the LEDs that we have on the top. So the Daughterboard is a very interesting one. It has onboard USB, JST 5-pin, so there's the 5-pin JST cable, and then we have the exposed pins, 3 on the left, 4 on the right, that make contact with pogo pins on the LED bars, and that allows to bring power and RGB control. So I already went on and do the usual mods for 2Us and spacebars that I usually do for EC PCBs. So I put on some band-aid on the PCB where the 2U slider lands, so left and right of the pads, and also where the spacebar housings rest. That way they dampen the sound. So this is the Typ K EC PCB. Yes, this is the Tented Alice, the Typ K. And now comes the funny part, where we snap the PCB in half. There we go. Let's clear out some of the FR4. And I'd say first of all, we should test this. So we're gonna be unclipping the two connectors on each side. So you'll see that we have two connectors on each side, and they have a clip. Let's see if we can pull focus again. Okay, so we just go underneath and they'll just flip up. You'll see, like this. We'll do that on each side. Then we take the included the ribbon cable. We slide it in, then we press down on the lever on each side. Okay. Now we gently flip the PCB over. Yeah, both have their advantage, I'd say. So the ones where you have to slide it out, kind of like the HHKB one, for example, they are good because usually they are more robust. But even for those specific ones, you have two versions. One where the sliding section is actually kind of like a U-shaped one, where you have the two bigger sections on either end, and then like a bar section that connects the two sides, or one where the two tabs are independent from each other. Those are the ones that I prefer. The ones with the bar that connects them usually are very fragile, like extremely fragile. These ones, where the lever is, it's literally just a lever that goes up and down. You have two versions of this too. One where the cable is inserted to the opposite side, like this one, and another one where the cable is inserted in the same side as the lever. Those are extremely fragile. Simply because when you move PCBs around, they tend to put on some stress. So let's connect the JST. Okay, and let's put out via. I'm grabbing via. There we go. So let's grab our USB cable, plug it in. So you'll see that the indicators will turn on. Let me turn down a little bit. And also the LEDs on either side will turn on. So one side, the other side. And if you click authorize, Typ K AC will pop up. At this point we have VIA controls. And if we just briefly test the controls, we can turn off the indicators. We can change the RGB pattern. We can change the color. For now we're gonna just leave it as rainbow, just because. And then turn them back on. Was the issue with the LEDs for EC or MX? Both of them. So the menu messed up big time with the LEDs. They did some procedures that damaged some of the LEDs, so just as a precaution we just asked them to remake all of them. So recheck all the LEDs and replace the ones that were defective. We shouldn't really be doing that. The menu should know better, but you know. What kind of tape are you using for the stabs? Just band-aids, like literally just band-aids. So since the rolls are not that common here, what I'm using is this kind of stuff, and I just use the sides where there's no padding, simply because it's just easier to manage. It's literally just like band-aid style tape, and I just stack 2 layers on top of each other because one layer for this specific thickness is too little, and I just stack them on top of each other. And also, especially for the space bars, since you have to like put on a lot of lube, it's always good to have something that soaks up excessive lube. Yeah, if you use like Band-Aid, like the actual brand, I've used it like a couple of times simply because I had some spares around. They worked fine, but the equivalent alternative here in Italy is like way too thick and it doesn't actually stick too well to PCBs. So I just use something that is similar, and that's why you need to stack 2 layers on top of each other. More than that, it just gets messy. Yeah, the cloth type is the best. The alternative is the like normal like first aid kits kind of stuff. It works too, but it really depends if the thickness is right or not. So as an example, I have a roll that I just got. Let me grab it. I got this brand, and it's literally just the tape section, it looks kind of similar, but it's thinner, and also the tape is not that good. Like it doesn't actually stick. So, I mean, it's a good option if you don't want to be permanent. This one is very sticky. Like when you take it out, it's a mess. So I guess try different thicknesses. If the thickness is not specified, just like open up the roll and see how it is. Because it doesn't need to be super thick, because the thicker it is, the more warp you may introduce, especially with the spacebar. For the 2Us, it's not that big of a deal because 2Us have a slot, as I'll show you later. So for the 2Us, it's not that big of a deal. For spacebars, it is. Okay, so after the PCBs, we'll take a look at the plates. And then take on the parts and the rest of the build. Hello, plastic bits. Okay, so we have 2 plates, of course, because 2 sides. In this particular configuration, we have split backspace, full right shift, and then 3U spacebars. Normal caps lock, just because. One particular thing about the plates for the Typ K that Gok worked on is on the other side, they have this particular feature here on the north and south for the 1Us and east-west for the 2Us, where it helps the clips for the housings to actually clip in place more easily than with other plates. Yeah, it's easier to remove and it puts on less stress on the tabs. So let's build first the left section. And for this build, we're gonna be using the included desk keys parts. But for the silencing rings, instead of the included ones, we're gonna be using 0.7 thock rings. For domes, we have some 60-gram carrots, and springs, we have conical springs. Hello, maybe yes. One thing that I want to do though is for the top left key, I want to use a special keycap that I got, and it's EC stem. So we're gonna be using a purple slider for that specific key. And also we're gonna be using some blue for the accent key instead of the carrots. Basically, the way this feature for the plate works is, not really sure if it's easy to see. They are basically angled sections that helps the housing teeth to slide in place without being damaged from a hard edge. And because the teeth is not damaged as with other plates, it's gonna be easier to just remove them, because on the other side they'll be intact compared to the like other ones. Also, by the look of it, I don't think we're gonna be needing gaskets for the housings, because even if the housings are like new or used as the one you here that I'm using, they are pretty snug. Like, they don't move at all. No vertical movement, no horizontal movement. So it's turning out very good so far. If your desk isn't covered in a little bit of plastic, was it even an easy build though? True. That's actually true. Like, every time that I do a build stream, then I have to like vacuum clean all my floor, because I just sweep all the table down and everything goes on the floor. Build, there's no build command, but I can tell you that it is the Typ K from GOG. Let me show you the case real quick. And we're gonna be building it with the EC kit. Yeah, I have the bot set up, but as usual the bot decides to randomly not work. And it's so weird because I always like enable it, what is the name of the bot? The Streamlabs one, like Nightly bot, whatever the name is. But every single time, it just deactivates itself. No idea why. Yeah, there's no movement whatsoever. This is probably the best plate for EC that I've used. The finish is super nice. It's very clean. I'm not sure what finish is this, to be honest. So it might be that the finish actually helps with the fitment, because the finish in some other plates actually created some issues for me in other builds that I did. An example is the brass plate for the numpad that Show makes. That was a nightmare. Like, it was actually a nightmare. So before I build this, I want to show you what I mean by putting these two pads here. So when the housing is in position, you can see from the side there's a space that is left over. It might happen that the slider goes down more than the actual travel and hits the PCB. So the way this works is you have the dome like this in position, and left and right is where the slider will land. By placing the tape in that position, you'll see that left and right is where .7 out of suggestion from Jason. He's the desk keys parts connoisseur. He's far more used to using desk keys parts than me, so I just asked for an advice. 0.3. Probably 0.3. They're gonna be a bit loose. I usually go 0.5 by default on everything. So I would use 0.3 only if I'm using non-Type S sliders or like non-longer sliders, and I want to preserve the kind of the feel of unsilenced in terms of like typing, but I really don't want to have the like plastic feel of unsilenced, because usually I prefer muted builds or builds that have very high level of pre-compression. So as an example, the FC660 that I've built a while back, I've used non-Type S OEM parts on everything, but I've used 0.7 rings. So I've eaten away quite a bit of travel. So from the 4 millimeters, I've went down to 3.3 because 4 minus 0.7. Not everyone likes it, and it's very noticeable. It's a very tight field build. And it's the same that I've used for the W1, the board that I was using earlier. Which, by the way, thank you for the interest check, those of you that filled it out. I'm going through the feedback, but overall is pretty good. And we're gonna be going live with the group buy soon for the kits. And we'll have a couple of extras, or more than a couple of extras. So if you can't really pick one up for like Christmas or whatever, you can always check back after the holidays. It's the black one. Let me show you. I'm gonna finish this row. There we go. Yeah, the color is very nice. The finish is also nice. I think it's smoother than the silver one. Some people reported that the silver finish is slightly rougher than they were expecting. But I don't have a silver unit to actually test it. I've tried the pearl types like the super early prototypes, like very very early ones, at Gion's place, but it was in kind of a semi-raw finish, so it's not really reflective of the final units. Which, to be honest, I wouldn't mind raw finish. No, I think it's actually there's actually some kind of finish, so it's not like raw with some sandblasting and clear coating. It's actually like a proper finish, but I'm not sure if the finish is the same as the black one, or if it's a different process. So I guess we can already start to do the lube, at least on this side. Yeah, I got looped into Chinese stuff by the AI dog thing, the the meme that's going over in like on TikTok and YouTube and Shorts and all of that. And since then, my YouTube, my Spotify, everything has been Chinese and Korean stuff all the place. Also, everyone say hi to Gok. Let me put on some gloves. And pick up the lube stuff. So as usual, we're gonna be using 205 G2, simply because it's the only thing that I can actually buy. And I always forget which one I already opened. This is not the one. This is the one. Okay. So as usual, let's go over the lube process. For the 2Us, very light application on the contact surface. So this side and the 2 smaller ones on each end. Okay. Then on the actual slider, we do the same contact surface, very light application. And they go very light because we have lube on the slider, lube on the housing. We don't want too much lube, especially for this specific lube because it's relatively dense and thick. We just want to have some lubrication on the contact surface. Okay. After that, we want to fill in this cavity with lube so that this flat section that you can see kinda here, basically that surface needs to be filled with lube. If you have a syringe, it's way easier. If you don't have it, you need to basically just scoop out some lube with your brush, make like a blob, and then kind of chug it in. And let's see if now it's clearer. You can see the difference between this side and the one on the bottom. The one on the top has lube, the one on the bottom doesn't. And it's important to fill that space because that's where the wire actually moves. The slider on the top right is different. Is it for artisan? Yes, it's not artisan. It's like an accent cap that I'm using. What are your thoughts on the Daughterboard steps design? It's interesting. It's probably gonna be expensive. I have yet to try it. I don't have one on hand. I've seen the patent, but I know for a fact that the things in the patent are not gonna be 100% the one used in the final one. Like, the final ones are gonna be different in some ways. If I recall correctly, I think he's gonna be like open to do like licensing or just buy a bunch of stock outright. Don't expect them to be compatible with like whatever it's already out there. So even plates, I bet you need like special thickness of a plate. But I mean, if the stubs are that good, I think that for like very high-end builds, or like a build that someone wants to have like pure perfection, whoever actually wants to have that level of perfectionism, they're gonna be okay with paying for a one-off plate. Like it just makes sense, you know. So let's take silencing ring, place it in the housing. Let's take the slider. Okay. Let's see if it moves freely. Yes. So now we move on to the wire. For the wire, the process is basically the same as MX. So the two ends, you just chuck them into the lube, and then you kind of spread it out. I've had issues with TX stabs. You're not the first one that I heard say that they had issues. I'm not really versed into MX stabs and all of that, but that's not the first time. Okay, so now after we've lubed the wire, we go on and insert it into the slider first, and while it's there, we hook it in place and clip it. Okay. You'll see that now it's clipped in place. And what we're gonna do is add a bit of lube where the hooks are, because that's a place where the wire needs to move freely. So there's empty space between the clip and the wire. Okay. At this point, what we're gonna do is clear out excessive lube. Places where we don't want lube is the bottom faces of the slider here, and then this small face and this other one, because that's where the dome actually makes contact, and we don't want to have lube there. So we take a microfiber cloth and just rub it without actually pressing, because then we just remove lube inside. There we go. Now the surfaces are cleaned. We can now move to the spacebar stabs. Here the process is kind of the same, so we want to lube the contact face, and especially for the spacebar you want like the highest amount of lube possible, because the space between the rails and the actual slider is like gigantic. It's like an entire state. Like there's a state and a intersection, like there's an entire railroad in between it. Like you have an entire state and country in there. It's gigantic.
在我彻底move on之前，我不知道彻底忘记你要多少时间。退宿安眠药，我真的不想失眠。对不起关心我的朋友，我也不想失联，但我被夹在了天使还有恶魔之间。Now the king's back, I feel best I ever had， 我已经准备好了回到紫禁之巅。明天就要把大把的基础里面装满你。
Okay. And we also want to add, yeah, it has its own zip code. Like, it's gigantic. We also want to add lube preemptively, where the wire actually hooks and like moves. So if we place the wire like this, we'll see that in this side channel and here we need lube, and same on the opposite side. We don't need it here nor here because the wire doesn't go there. And here it's another case where you just, if you have a syringe, it's way easier. If you have a brush, you just add a bit of lube onto the brush and then just scrape it off whatever you want it. So like this. Is the wire provided? Yes, the wire is provided because it's a non-standard wire spacing. 3U is not a OEM option. There is a OEM 3U bar, but it's like super rare. It's used in the Sony BKE 2010, the smaller all-stop spacebar. But like it's not a commonly available part, you know. Now we move on to the spacebar slider. What we're gonna do with this is add lube to would go into RO59. I wanna try it, but like paying and sourcing RO59 here for me, it's like a super complex process. And also I would have to try all the baking processes and all of that, and I don't have a oven that I can dedicate only for that. Like my oven is dedicated for actually eating stuff to prepare food. Okay, wire, same process. We dip. Maybe that's too much. We'll spread it out. Because remember that we still have the gigantic amount of lube in the hook itself. Okay. So now the game is pretty much the same as with the 2Us. We hook the wire and then we clip it in place. Okay. Nice. In this case, we don't really need to clean up the bottom surfaces because there's nothing there to make contact with that is like dome. And also because I have the tape here, whatever excess is gonna be soaked in here. So whatever weird like wet noise is gonna be temporary, because once the material soaks in a bit of the lube, it's just gonna reduce that. Now we just check that it moves. And we are pretty much done with this side. We can move the lube stuff away for now. Okay, so what we need now are domes, the screws, the PCB is here. So first of all, let's prepare the domes, because we'll need to cut some of them. So let's just prepare them roughly. So here we need 2. Two of them here. And then pretty much all of the rest is 1U. place this here, this one here, and then all the rest is 1U all the way. What's nice about the carrots and other more recent Deskis parts, Deskis domes, is that they have cutting guides on the dome itself, on the bottom. Probably it's better to take a look at this one. So we have guides on the back on where to cut them, and on the front you also have a cutting line if you want to use them with RGB parts. That's very useful. And we need 3 of them because we are using the special one on the top. Okay, then we need to raise the plate. Let's put down all the domes. Okay. I should probably use another one. There we go. Normal springs. I hate the volcano ones. Like extra steps for nothing, in my opinion. Bro, why is this not cutting? There we go. They are a little bit tangled. A lot, actually. Okay. Not the best packing. Like, at all. There are storage trays for the springs. People don't use that. Man, this is gonna take forever. I'm so mad. They are all tangled. Fuck's sake. Okay, slowly we are making progress. Like, what the hell? There's literally not a single one that is not tangled. I must be the most unlucky PC building guy. Yeah, I mean, halfway of the one half, so kinda halfway there. Man, Also, Fujifilm, you gotta fix your autofocus because it's driving me insane. Yeah, this is not what I want to see. You know, that's not what I want to see. And there are already 3 springs that I noticed right away. They are damaged. And of course, the more you work with the springs, the more they're gonna be deformed. Like, what the fuck? I'm changing pack. Like, they are literally just one single blob. Like, look at this. Yeah, that's not that easy. Because finding even one that is loose is like a miracle. Okay, so this one is done. Yes, I suppose they are. The desk is one. Okay. So now we prepare the screws, bunch of them, and the PCB. So left side, and we try to align. I guess we can actually place one screw here and use it as a guide. There we go. And then we drop a couple of them here and there just as a guide. Okay. I'm not screwing in all the way. I'm just starting the bit. Just to be sure that I'm in the right place. and then I'll go over all the screws at the end. Should be all. Yes. So now we can start to screw it in a bit more and lock them in place. I think I've used too much tape on this one. But whatever. Okay. So let's test the domes to see if something is obviously wrong. Let me mute the music 1 sec. Okay, nice. So one side is done, and we can move to the next one. And someone asks if I can show the re-stress. There you go. I still need to put on the feet and all that. Let's pull away the screws before we lose them. Okay. Now let's take on the other side.
果能再见面，我会更加卖力的。我名字你不会忘的，我是照着你的太阳，永远不会荡的。Camera rolling，镜头不会晃的，抓住你的双手，我就不会放了。一起吹海风，把你心事忘了。海水很冷，但我心是烫的。你给我的权利是我最大的自信，插口气把你爱我留在镜子上了。I say， 你跟我的连接是宿命，现在我头顶乌云，大佬被阴谋入侵，不管什么成分的药都对我不灵。I cruising down the streets， skirt skirt skirt， 哎，让我独自 go away， 哎哎哎。
Then to you. I'm using 0.7 silencing rings Polaron. The kit comes with, I think, 0.5 by default, but I want something a little bit more dampened. With desk keys, personally, I don't notice it that much. But I'm used to like reduced travel anyway. Because like, for example, the W1 that I built, it uses 0.7 with non-Type S OEM parts. So effectively it's like 3.3 millimeter of travel, but I use it daily anyway. There's no build command, Nico. The bot is down. Yep, it's the Typ K. I mean, it's usable. Like with 0.7 and non-Type S, the build is still usable. Like the only thing that I'd say is a little bit annoying, and you need to like have a little bit of experience with EC and maybe a couple of builds under your belt, is the fact that if you have a thick enough silence ring on the slider doesn't rest down enough, like low enough in the housing, and when you go and lay down the domes, they don't align with the notches, so it makes the build even more difficult, you know, because now the dome can actually shift. But if you're like even a little bit experienced with EC, it's totally manageable. Like as long as you have a solid build surface, no issues, in my opinion. So we need 2 more rings. 1, 2. Okay. And we are done with this. We're doing some cleaning process. There we go. Now we can bring back the lube station. For all the lubing that we need to do. Okay. Same as before, light on the rails, and then we go from there. Okay. Now we do the sliders.
Mason.
是我成为了 big man big boss，我像罗纳尔多上万年的这次太凄惨，我的未来不会拥有 big plan no big bro big family， 可以说我尝过了失败的 timing， 没有背叛让我进化为传奇，等待这辈子就没有人会来拜你，老老们的门没有人会来算你，此时我成为了 big man big boss， 我像罗纳尔多上万年的这次太凄惨，我的未来不会拥有 big plan no big bro big family， 可以说我尝过了失败的 timing， 没有背叛让我进化为传奇，等待这辈子就没有人会来拜你，老老们的门没有人会来算你，这个世界线被我努力提前，幸运你是降临给我意见，后头约会不跟在任何地点，看不起我的富二代过得不如以前，我和我的天赋过得像是顶点立线，写 so hard 但是它不来自郫县，花期太快我2月开始觉得提现，小自如因为我更像是我的笔尖 Air Force One 爆 fresh 对着角落，我 game work 早就摸清了套路，我在 OA 听起来更像是炮火，他们相信有一天能够轮得到我，我的 flow 在跳舞叫他步步无数，他给我的灵感的辅助，从来不会提前进就是匍匐，当我站起来你知道我会打开目录，打开4方 PG 1 2 3 4 5，我有鲜美的 take top pussy type， 我帅到了没有人扶起来，突然玩 key time 没人不期待1 2 3 4 5，我有鲜美的 take top pussy type， 我帅到了没有人扶起来，突然玩 key time 没人不期待。Wolf gang， 我的 Keycaps 有 VVS， 让他们戳不到用 Wolf gang。Wow wow West Demon baby icon。
Okay. Now let's do the other one too.
可以说我尝过了失败的 timing， 没有背叛让我进化为传奇，等待这辈子就没有人会来拜你，老老们的门没有人会来算你。此时我成为了 big man big boss， 我像罗纳尔多上万年的这次太凄惨，我的未来不会拥有 big plan no big bro big family， 可以说我尝过了失败的 timing， 没有背叛让我进化为传奇，等待这辈子就没有人会来拜你，老老们的门没有人会来算你。
Hit in the country， 抛开我的2个身份，不了 rapper， 不了 hustler， 不了 TV show magazine cover， 只想做你的 partner。Come and chill baby feel my flow， 我不是假话的 on my soul， 你尽管大胆的往外走 ，I love you till I die，never switch my side， 就像我第一眼见你就认定 she's my type， 即使你说不爱我了，即使你不在 ，baby 你是最亮眼的 star， 我是你的 sky。I don't need no money fame， 只要你的爱。当我失落的时候，你帮我振作。I guess you like this tempo。 simple，你在我身边 life so simple，他们炫耀新交的 girlfriend，I say ain't nothing better than my girlfriend，我的自信中带点骄傲 ，Can't you feel what I'm saying？我想抱着枕头睡，独自角落里流泪 ，Can't you feel what I'm saying？分手让人很受罪，你也说过你不会。
Okay, let's do the wire now.
Playboy 射了全世界，但我不舍得你。有翅膀长在北上，你的怀抱是我的 playground。你的吻等级 A1，喜欢你坐我腿上，喜欢看你穿我的 hoodie。小米色的玫瑰送到你屋里，我们像牛奶搭配 cookie。离开你，我谁都不属于。我们爱的系列是交响曲，教堂的钟已经敲响起。I really like you, I was about to write you，但你已经没机会了，我被你一脚给踢飞了。听到谁的话题你在意味着，反正肯定是我低配的。原来我不愿意当你的 ex boyfriend，so fuck your next boyfriend。我自信中带点骄傲 ，Can't you feel what I'm saying？我想抱着枕头睡，独自角落里流泪 ，Can't you feel what I'm saying？
Okay, let's clip it in place. Then put the loop on the clip. Okay, let's do the other wire. Okay. Bro, we already listened to this one. Let's change. Let's change the playlist. Let's go with this one.
fashion that body. Throwing some cash, make 'em put in that work. Whether it rain or it's sunny, best believe I keep on running back. Room perfume, Kodak on the lilac. Slipping on my short dress, no he like that. Daytime on the regular, in the night wanna see what's up. You know this ain't regular, got the A1 in the schedule. I've got finger like a venom, and it's sweet like
Okay.
looking like a seven figure because I can melt a nigga, yeah, 'cause I'm so damn I got everything, yeah, that you're feeling for. Heart attack, IV when I walk the street. Vitamins, that D, I'm good, I'm healthy. Every summer I come out, make 'em disappear like clouds. To me it's another year, to you it's all you worry about. Yeah, white tip it's all summer, I make him go dumb. He doubled down on that text, says that I'm the only one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll make him lose his cool. Yeah, I'll make him go. I can melt a nigga, yeah, 'cause I'm so damn.
One down.
Yeah, I got everything, yeah, that you're feeling for. Look at some new me, switched it up, who's this? Booty brown, new jeans, so fresh, so clean. I'm the man,
Okay.
time to step out, no harm no more. Ready for sure, to have some more.
Ah.
New hair, new tee, new jeans, do you see? New hair, new tee, new jeans, do you see? New hair, new tee, new jeans, do you see? New hair, new tee, new jeans, do you see? Make it feel like a game. Look at us, we go on and on again. We'll go on to the end. What we wanna do on and on again. Make it feel like a game. Look at us,
Okay.
we go on and on again.
Wait, now the wire, and we are done with the lube. one here, one here, two over there, and two on the bottom. And we need 4 single ones. One goes here, one here, and one on the spacebar. Nice. Now we take again. Like this. Let's align the domes. Okay, now we proceed with the springs. We try to work our way through this mess. Again, not ideal to have the springs like this. But we work with what we have. We have another pretty bad one. Another one. Okay, now we go and actually tight everything down. Okay. Let's put the screws away. Let's mute real quick. Okay. So now let's clean up a little bit. So let's flip the case. So longer screws on top, shorter ones on the bottom. Okay, the tops come off. And you'll see that the diffuser element for the LEDs are already mounted in place. And I gotta say, this is one hell of a PC. Like, whew. Like, this is all machined PC. That is quite an achievement. Actually, I think we should probably use the Daughterboard cable right now, by the look of it. Yeah. So let's do it now. I gotta find the screws. What? There we go. I gotta find the screws for the Daughterboard. I'm not sure where I've put them. Let's see. Oh, found them. They are in the bag with the MX wires. And I'm not really sure, like, what are these for? Because they don't seem to fit anything. Not sure. Yeah, probably some spacebar tuning stuff. Okay. Okay, so now we can tie down the daughterboard. Okay. And next, we need to guide the GSD into the PC. Okay. And now we can fix the bottom weight back to the PC mid piece. Okay. Now we can take the two PCB, and yeah, I assume that for at least for the EC build, you'll see that the rubber piece has a thicker section where the cusp is, and that should go on the bottom, so facing towards the PC. And that is because the EC PCB and assembly is thicker and we needed additional space, so we just had to raise them that way. Next, we take the ribbon cable and we use it to connect the two sides. Okay, and now very gently you flip them, and where each rubber insert is, it corresponds to one of these mounting points. Now, let's take the top piece. Okay. And let's screw it back in. No, we have a accent key that uses the EC stem. So that's why I'm using OEM parts for that one. This one. Just because. No real reason. Okay. Let's put on some rubber feet. I guess they are the same, this and this. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I think they are used for the board, but also for the wrist rest. So that's why there are so many. But there should be extras anyway. Hello, Fujifilm. Thanks. Man, what the hell? Okay. And while we are at it, we're gonna be doing the wrist rest too, because why not? So for the wrist rest, we have two strips that go here. Just to avoid scratching the case. There's some bubble. Okay. Okay. Now, keycaps. So, in the keyboard kit, we actually have the spacebar kit. That's because 3U is not really a very common spacebar size. Some sets actually have it, but the number of sets is very limited, and most likely not everyone actually bought them whenever Typ K sets or whatever had those. So we're gonna be using the black ones. I'm not sure. I don't think they actually match that well. But I will check. I don't have any beige RF keycap here. For keycaps, we're gonna be using Black Snail, graciously donated by Gion. You gotta be sure that they are actually properly seated down, because desk sliders, when new, they are very tight. So you gotta be sure that the keycap actually bottoms out all the way. Actually, that is not the key that we need. This is the key that we need. Let's see if I can take out the keycap. No. Let's use the keycap puller. There we go. And also that is not gonna be caps lock, but it's gonna be control. Wait, does black now have control in the caps lock position? I'm not sure it does. Yeah, I'm not sure. No, doesn't seem like it. Oh well. But 100% we're gonna be using bars for the index. Shopping like at all. So for the escape we're gonna be using this one. Yeah, it kind of matches actually. Apart from the texture, like color-wise, it actually matches. So we're good. So I need to find an extra B. What was the default layout? Because I forgot. Like, okay, so I think it was page up, page down. So this one is page up, and the other one is page down. So I can use this one as B because it's the same profile. Okay. Page up. I'm gonna find page up and page down for that profile there. Page down, page up, even though I never use them. And then there's like a weird FN key that I'm not actually gonna be using as FN. Then the accent key here. That other one is not actually escape because I'm using this as escape, but whatever, let's use escape. Okay. Then for the right shift, I don't think I have a 2.25. No. I think I have to grab it from some other sets. Or I could use an enter key. Let me see if I have something in another set. indicators are on. The RGB is on as well. Let's first go over the calibration on all of that. Page up, page down, Edwin. Oh, it's Edwin. Whatever. Let's change this to the only correct one. Let's put this one to escape again. It's not really escape. Let's put this one to print screen, just because I use it. Then the rest is pretty much what we want. Yeah. Okay. Let's do the calibration. Layer key, this one. Layer 1, layer 2, and then the other ones are just way too many. Let's test it. Oh, Windows moment. Nice. Nice. So, indicators. I guess I just leave them all on. Because why not? Okay. So let's turn off the LEDs. Sorry, the lighting. And let's do a fixed exposure. That way we can actually see how the LEDs look. So this is how the indicators looks. By the look in the camera, they seem like the color merge between one another, but actually they are very distinct. They are very separate. Let me see it. Yeah, they are very distinct. That separator that I showed before really really separates the lighting. And then this is what the side look like.
Hello there.
Thank you, Pancakes Type, for the follow. One side. This is the other side. And this is the back. And this is not even 100% brightness. This is 100%. Bear in mind that because the exposure is automatically controlled, they might look the same. Yeah, this is like pretty much like minimum, and this is maximum. It's very nice. The indicators are amazing. Bro. Weird exposure moment. Okay, let me watch the chat. So space bars. So I mean, space bars. They are like they match pretty much exactly. Like the texture is not the same, but the fact that they are smoother than GMK texture is probably better, I'd say. And then yeah, this one I need to fix it. So let me check. Why do I have caps lock? Oh, because it's caps lock, that one. I need to change this. Change. No caps lock, we want let's control. And when it clicks, let's go in this one just because. I know they have black snail. There we go. Space bars. Oh, they have control here. Okay, so this one solves this, this, and nothing more. Okay. How much is this? $27? Jeez. With taxes, I suppose. Cherry accents. No, I don't want this. So wait. What if I want the right shift? No, I don't want to use ISO. ISO is bad. ISO's bad. I should have made it more difficult to actually select ISO on all of my PCBs. I don't know why I make it so easy. Okay, so what keycap set can I use? Or like accent thing. Wait, there's no 2.25. No. I mean, there's enter, but it's of course the wrong one. I mean, realistically, like to be honest, what I will probably do is have, like when I do the run for the other plates, yeah, I'm using a NordKit spacebar right now. But realistically, what I will do anyway, because it was planned anyway, some people asked for it, I'm probably gonna have like HHKB style, even though it's not HHKB. So 1.25 and then 1U as the FN key in another plate. So do I even wanna like buy anything? Not really, because like B, it's whatever, like it's just aesthetics. I can live without it. The caps lock, same thing. For this one, at this point I can probably just make the plate with the HHKB style. Although, because it's not actually HHKB, like HHKB is in line with the enter key. So how useful would it be? I mean, I guess I could probably use it way more for the arrows, because that's how I use them. Probably what I will do, because it's shifted, this row is shifted, what I should do is actually, instead of have a diamond, where the down is question mark, I should put it on dot. Because if I have my pinky shifted like here, the middle finger goes to up and right, and the left and down for the index. This is way more comfortable. Like, this is linear motion. This is not linear motion because you go like this. So this is up, right, left. Yeah, it's more automatic to go like this. Even if you're on the edge of the keycap, it's still better than go like this. This is impractical. It's not really... Yeah. Like, this is the resting position. You'll see it goes like this. They shift. With the HHKB, I do kind of the same. I go like this. So like the motion is the same, they are slightly shifted. So that's probably how I would select them. Yeah. Okay, so let's pause the music. Let's go over a bit of sound. Not sure how much you guys will be able to hear. It's not a super professional setup. Yeah, the spacebar are super smooth. I'd say it's very consistent. It's not my preferred dome sound, simply because the heavier domes usually are silicone based instead of rubber or like any kind of blend that uses rubber. So it's less deep and dampened than other type of domes. If you were to use 49 grams, this would sound more muted. And also some poppiness of the sound that's made by may be interpreted as like noise. It's due by the tactility profile of the return of the specific dome, and it's because it's heavier, it actually makes a different noise compared to like what typical AC sounds like. But feeling wise it's very nice. The 2Us definitely need to be worn down a little bit. First because they are desk kit parts, and in my opinion desk kit parts the two U's need a little bit of like use to go smoothly, but also because I loaded pretty heavily. Though I gotta say, the tuning job on the spacebars on point. Not bad. Yeah, not bad at all. I would 100% swap the domes though. Simply because I prefer... Like, the tactility is nice, but sound-wise I would probably use something different. I think with the fact that it uses this type of mounting, 55 gram OG domes will play very nice. It might be a little bit hard to use, especially if you're not used to like heavier domes, but I'd say they would play really well. Let's see, someone is pinging me. Okay, nothing important. Yeah, nothing important. Okay, so let's take another look at the board. We should probably clean it. Yeah, all the markings are just not me cleaning it properly. They're not defect on the actual finish. So yeah, this is the Typ K built in the EC version. You can kind of see also the Typ K logo in the middle, the ribbon cable, some PCB details. This is the side. And once again, this is the wrist rest in the carbon fiber version. let's turn on the LEDs all the way. Because why not? Okay, so I guess if there's nothing else to go over, we can probably, let's see, I can probably go over some news and updates on the PCBs. So as a recap, the restock for Canon Keys PCBs is on the way, and we'll have that live very soon. Next PCBs in line that are already tested, and we just need to confirm a couple of things and we're good to go, are the EC65X. This is a PCB for 65% with this layout support, and it can support the AE board's EC parts, and that's why we have MX stabilizer support, PCB mount stabilizer support. It has a variety of JST placements, so back in echo style, so kinda here, the usual wheel bus 65, which is here roughly, and also I'll have the TGR 910, which is here roughly. Onboard RGB, basically the same feature set as the EC60X. And another PCB is the EC Alice. So there was a question in general about which layout it will follow. So it will follow the OG TGR Alice layout. So this difference and stuff, it's just because KLE is a piece of garbage of software and you can't really do rotations properly. So OG TGR Alice, that's how it is. Then for other news, we have the first 40% that I'm gonna be supporting, and it's the Mini-Me 40. Both the stagger and the ortho option will be available. And one funny thing about the ortho is that the PCB itself will have the option of onboard USB that you can solder, and that way you can use the PCB in a plank, the OLKB plank. So this PCB serves 2 keyboards, actually 3 of them. The Mini-Me 40, which is a injection mold case with a lid, a top case lid. The F140 722, the Geon board. This one. And both the stagger and the ortho PCB will work in this case. For the plates, we are working out how to actually do the plating system and all of that. So yeah, if you want to use the ortho, you can use it in the Mini-Me, in the 722, and the plank. The stagger is for the 722 and the Mini-Me. There's no onboard USB for the stagger. There was no real purpose for that at the time. So So yeah, then the ECTKLX, the F12/13 PCB. This is gonna be used in a very important project, which is the TGR, the GNV3 KLC edition. Thank you for the follow. Oh, a raid from Ball. Thank you. Let's do a shout out if the bot works. SO. Let's copy and paste. If it doesn't work, it's the bot fault. SO. Does it work? Yes. Thank you, Bolt, for the raid, and hi everyone. Welcome to the stream. We've built a Typ K today in the EC version. Skipping the question mark, because it was easier for me to just do this than this. You see how my index does weird things. Yeah, it's super cursed because it's shifted. You can't really do anything about it. With HHKB, it's way easier. You just do this. You can see that the movement is the same. You keep the two fingers together and just slide them. And if you do this, it looks like it, but because you have your finger like this, sorry, your hand like this, you need to go more down than diagonal. When is shipping? I think it's actually in shipping. I'm not really aware of how Kevin managed all the like separation of orders between like NA, EU, OBLO, NK, whatever it is. I wasn't involved in logistics and none of that. I've just made the PCB, the EC one. I mean, an alternative for the arrows is just to use the layout that is provided. So FN, then WASD. Like, that's one way, you know. That's one way of doing it. Probably if you have FN, at that point it would be even easier, I guess. But yeah, like I think the way to go for me for this specific layout is to actually make the split plate. The 3 U bars, to be honest, I'm okay with them. Just for context, this is how the split space bars work. Like I don't mind not having like FN or whatever it is here. I guess if you have like the split left space, I guess you can use your thumb as FN and then WASD. It's a bit far out, I'd say, but it's usable. Utility of the diamond arrows. It's very, very heavy if this key is aligned with enter. Otherwise you might not find it comfortable. Like you may just not have arrows at all at that point. Some people can't get used to it. Okay, so back to the updates. So I'm not sure when the raid happened because I don't have the sound alerts. So let's go in reverse. So the TKL, it's done. It's ready. It's gonna be used in the Jane v3 KLC edition. Here's an example. Looks very raw. I like the finish. Then where is it? There we go. 40% for my 40% amigos. The Mini-Me 40 will have a EC option, both in the stagger version and the ortho. This is the stagger layout. This is the ortho. One cool thing about the ortho and stagger PCB is that it's gonna be used in the Mini-Me, but also in the F140. This one. And one more advantage of the ortho is that the PCB actually has a spot for onboard USB. That way you can use it with your OLKB plank if you so desire. So that's very cool. Then Alice. OG TGR Alice layout. The KLE is just because the KLE it's easier to do it that way. So onboard RGB indicators, the indicators work the same way as the Typ K one, so you can customize them however you like. It comes by default with top mounted USB-C, but there's a spot for downwards USB-C for like acrylic builds. that you can hand solder. It supports MX stabs for the AE boards parts. So there's that. The EC65, basically it's a universal 65%, supports this bunch of layouts, has onboard RGB, it has, actually no, there's no, yeah, there's the RGB on board. There are no indicators, of course. Multiple JST positions, back Echo 65 around here, wheelbase 65 around here, TGR 910 around here-ish. MX stabs again for the AE parts, so there's that. And then the restock for CK PCBs is on the way. And Southeast Asia is getting some love too. We have something in the works. It's happening. It's happening for Europe and the rest of the world. If it's not covered or you don't like one or the other for each region, I already have in production an entire batch of PCBs for the rest of the world and Europe. So there's that. Then last thing, I guess, the EC 180. So this beast. This beast. There we go. The IC period has ended. I've gathered a lot of nice feedback. Good thing, since you guys come from Ball's stream, the kit is compatible with the EE80, not only with the W1. So keep that in mind. So I'll run some numbers, check out some of the specific feedback that I received. And once that is done, I'll go and start the group buy. It's gonna be relatively small buy. The number of people interested is higher than expected, but of course it's not as big as a normal MX project, so keep that in mind. There's gonna be some extras, so if you can join when the group buy actually goes live, maybe you'll have a chance later, or I might just do custom orders if you really want to, but you missed it. Okay, I guess that's it for like updates and all of that. So let's see if someone is doing keyboards on Twitch. Keyboard. Is someone doing keyboards? Doesn't seem like it. No one is doing keyboards. Why? Well, let's see. Why is my search not working? Like, I searched like keyboards in general, but it shows me like nothing. It shows me CDogVA and Ludwig doing some gaming stream. Let's see. Make someone do keyboards. Oh, I see an HHKB. We are gonna be rating this guy. I see an HHKB. Okay, slash raid. Yes. I've seen an HHKB. Is this a BT? Oh yes, it's a Bluetooth. Okay. So, raid. I'm not typing. Message. There we go. So, thank you everyone. Yes, I see Japanese keyboards and I just say yes. So thank you everyone who joined. I guess the next stream will be. I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to have the next build board here, because whoever was supposed to send it to me, they are pretty busy with Black Friday orders, so I'm not sure if they can send stuff over. Otherwise, I guess next time is like PCB streams or whatever, and then the usual stuff, you know. Alright, again, thank you everyone who joined. Thank you Kevin and Gok for making the Typ K possible. For the plates, I'll do some announcement, something when I get around actually making the new plates. Again, thank you everyone who joined and have a good one. Bye!
Oh, Sip, thank you for the raid. Excuse me, do you have a second to hear about the good word of EC and a true couple of Welcome in, Raiders. I am Fashion Tony. I rarely do keyboard content now, but mainly game. For the most part, I stream like I guess like Tekken or just like fighting games in general. That's like my thing now. I've been in the hobby since like 2020, late 2020, since 2021. And yeah, I've been kind of slowing down, but you know, I'm still around, I guess. Right, NC's here. Yeah, NC's everywhere. He's omnipresent, even when you think he's not there. He is here now.